I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Huh?
Yeah,
Love ain't perfect.
but truth keeps it real. Charles and Melendia,
Just keeping it,
just keeping it real.
in love.
Hey, what's up, fam?
What's up, fam?
Hey, just keeping it real with Charles and.
Melendia, who is not feeling the best today.
Yep.
But
Go ahead.
I am dedicated to making sure that we provide you what we have on our minds. And we have reached out to you all, because we're interested in wanting to know what you're thinking,
Sure.
and what questions that you would like to ask. So we did get a question. So please forgive me if my voice goes out, but y'all pray for me. So I think what we want to talk more about a little bit is what was one of the questions that was asked.
Okay, so baby, if you would, could you read the comment?
Sure.
I know. I
Sure.
know. We'll get through
Um,
it tonight. We doing it for you. Yeah,
Again,
definitely. Mhm.
again, we ask, what is something that you all desire to hear from us, and what you would like to discuss. So, one of the questions that we have here is, someone said, I hear people, especially married people, say, I love them, but I'm not in love with them. The question is, what does that even mean? And what does that couple need to do?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I'm gonna say Vonetta. So you've probably said this, maybe. I'm sure you may have heard it a few times. And usually it's said in different scenarios. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. It's common to hear during dating with some where one person may get more serious or become more serious than the other. And they say, you know what? This is it. I think you are the one for me. And the person may feel like, I'm not there. And they may hit them with that line. So the translation could be a few things. So as we unpack and we talk about it, it could be a comeback plan. It could be that we need to work on some things. So we're going to say this. It may not necessarily mean a breakup sentence, because I know at times it can mean that. It may even mean that we've lost connection and we need to get reconnected.
Well, from, when I first hear something like that, if someone was to present that to me and say that's what was said to them, I think it would be hurtful.
Especially married,
Or
in a marriage, yes.
even if you are in a relationship that seemed to be going somewhere.
Yes.
So you think, there's a difference in relationships for that somebody to say something like that.
Sure. Right.
Not unless someone's giving somebody an expectation that's false. So it could be hurtful.
Oh, yes.
If you
Right.
spent time, quality, and investment in someone, and they said, I love you, and then the other one say, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah, the but is the thing.
Yeah.
Because, we've learned the word but. When you put that in a sentence, the but erases everything that's said prior to it. You know what I'm saying? I love you, but now we're questioning the love, because what you're saying next brings question to whether you really love me or not.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes. So we'll unpack that.
Okay, so we will. So we know it's not poetry when when that happens or when that's said. Not anything sweet or just good rhyming, anything. We know that could be a warning. That could be a warning label that something is about to happen or something is in works. So the thing is in unpacking what that is. So before you panic, let's try to get the translation. So most people are talking about a connection and not a commitment. You see.
I mean, what does it really mean when someone says something like that? I mean, we may feel like we're like roommates.
Okay.
I mean, that may, and obviously that's not the expectation of the other person,
Right.
you know? And then they don't feel like they are the chosen person anymore.
Sure.
What else you think?
Well, person may feel that I'm tired of pretending because if I love you, but not in love. They may say that as a way because they're saying that I'm at my limit. I've had enough. I'm tired of pretending. So, with that, also it could be that there's some unresolved issues there, whether hurt or whatever it is that's unresolved, that it no longer can be ignored. We got to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think too that in situations and with life happening, life and circumstances and situation, it gets so loud, but yet our love gets so quiet.
Sure.
So it's getting bombarded or over spoken of what we really feel. And therefore somebody's feeling neglected.
And I know we'll get through it, and I know you're not feeling the best. So be patient with us tonight, and I really appreciate you, Preston, to show up for our people. The thing about so we have the question. One of the first questions would be in a situation like that. Ask the question: are we willing to rebuild? If we had a place now that we don't feel like this is it, we love you, but not in love. Have you been in love before? That would be a question. And if so, and you feeling, but I'm not there now, then are you willing to rebuild? Have you already checked out, or are you checking out in the process of checking out? So that's important. And one scripture we want to give to you is Ephesians 4:26-27. And it says, don't let like the small things fester. So if you keep stuffing things underneath, they'll turn into distance. So talk it out, clean conversation, fight fair if there's a term, and heal intentionally or on purpose. You've got to do those things.
Yeah. So it reminds me though when people have been in long-term relationships and they tend to feel like like I said, the busyness of life and with children and people going through different stages
Right.
in life, how they're not communicating what they really feel. So they tend to either engulf themselves in something else.
Okay.
Not necessarily another relationship. It could just be tuned into something, work.
Okay.
It could be recreational, starting to work out or something like that. But I do know that when you center yourself around something like that, that is the opportunity where Satan has his better advantage.
And one of the things is that whatever those reasons are, we have to make sure that we actually put those issues in the right bucket. So let's talk about that and how do we do that? And we have to name the buckets that we're putting in it. Number one, when I mentioned to you, if a person says that, then there may be a disconnection there, and we may have to reconnect. So the disconnection bucket would be one of the first buckets we look at. And we'll talk some of those things there. Either you mentioned about being busy. The busy is never greater than our bond. Okay? So whatever we got going on out the side should never be greater than our bond in a relationship. So, busy, is that an issue? Is that causing disconnect? Put it in the bucket. That's the bucket. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, in our relationship, do we have any recreation? Are there date nights? Are there fun activities are we doing? Do we have a friendship here? Or is it business? Is it strictly business? Or as we talk about, covenant versus contract? What do we have here? Do you enjoy our marriage, our relationship? Also, have our devices, have they replaced us talking? Because we may even say, hey, look, I texted you. Okay, now this is becoming the main thing instead of us looking at each other and communicating on a person-to-person level. What about, remember, we talked about the love languages, and we wanted to expand within that conversation. Has the touching stopped? Are you missing the hugs? Because and now we know that at times we need to get that body contact or that touch. So that's one bucket.
Yeah. And okay, so I think the second bucket would be hurt.
Okay.
There could been some broken trust.
Okay. Right.
Whatever that looks like. It could be an addiction. It could be where someone has slipped out of the marriage, or there could be some lying or things that are being hid. That bucket is full of all kind of things that can enable a relationship or have someone to start feeling uneasy about their connection with one another.
Okay.
And then it also could bring on disrespect.
Okay.
And contempt.
Okay. Right. We talked about contempt. Definitely. Okay.
Yeah. And as I said, you got some secret conversations or side chats or side conversations, talking to somebody else about what's going on in your relationship, and that will lead to a lot of betrayal.
Sure.
So,
excuse me, one second. I heard something just recently. It says that if it has to be done in secret, then most likely it probably shouldn't be done. In a relationship or even a marriage. If it has to be done in secret, most likely it shouldn't be done. And what I'm saying, I'm not talking about I'm surprising you with a gift or something, and I'm like, keep it from him. But I'm saying that actions that you do that can be contrary or that can affect or hurt your relationship is what we're talking about. And go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that these are parts of the devastation that can cause people to be off track.
Okay.
And to the person that asked the question, when we look at different areas of relationship, then you're going to get different responses.
Sure. And as we talked about, just placing those items, if we could, in imaginary buckets. So what are they doing? That's only simply to compartmentalize or to organize. What are the issues there? Why would a person say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you? Because they could be, again, a disconnection bucket there. You just mentioned the hurt bucket. And the third bucket, we could actually be going through seasonal changes in our lives. Because we talked about the stages of marriage, the seasonal changes and all. So we could be going through one of those stages of changes. Yeah. So let's talk about the season change bucket.
I think one of the first big ones is the kids.
Meaning?
Whether they're empty nesters.
Okay, right. Kids grown.
Kids growing up.
We were there. Remember that? And we had more time to talk. And I'm saying, so if you haven't built a relationship, or if you haven't built a solid relationship of communication, then when the children are gone, you're saying, oh, I don't know this person. You know, the kids have always been the jail keeping us together. That is a transitional time, and it can become stressful as well. And we need to learn how to maneuver and get over that by starting to communicate. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna go before that.
Uh-huh.
You know, what about when a couple they have their first child?
Okay. Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Uh-huh.
and you go through
Oh.
type of hormonal changes.
Yeah.
Then one partner may, specifically maybe the dad,
Okay.
will feel neglected.
Okay. So meaning that, you know, his wife now and mother of his child is spending more time with the child, and because children, babies need attention. Children need attention. So yeah, you could have to share more of that, and that's why we talked about sometimes some people may have to schedule their romance time or the time that they get together. May have to calendar that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of course that induces stress and
Oh yeah,
you
right.
know, what is it where one person may start getting resentful.
Okay.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
when somebody is caring, when they're caring for, and they're not feeling like their needs are being met.
Sure. Right.
You know, so
Yeah,
and
you
then
could, yeah, definitely feel left out and neglected for sure.
yeah,
So,
and then of course there's the career path. You know,
yes,
when
right.
things like that happen.
Yeah, career can be more demanding. You know, it could be a career change, promotions, or things that may cause more time away, may cause even out of town time, and that could put more. And that's a seasonal change. And even just whether we're making moves, we made a move here a few years ago. That was moving to a different place. You know, and even money pressures. Period could be an issue. We know that these are some of the things that causes marriages, people in marriages to walk away and dissolve these relationships. Even starting new chapters, whether it be, again, we talk about moving could be one, or something, the whole positioning of what we're doing. It could be someone coming to live with us, you know, or be us now around family and becoming caretakers or so. That kind of thing can cause changes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right. So again, bucket A, we're gonna go ahead and tackle. Which was, what bucket was that?
That was being disconnected.
That was the disconnected bucket. Okay, so let's share a little bit about that one.
Well, you know, as we said, I would think that when it comes to certain signs that we need to be aware of, make sure that we are familiar with what is missing. You know what used to happen. You know, you had date nights.
Sure.
You know, so if you are disconnected from things like that, and you're becoming more self-indulgent in whatever's going on in your life, that one individual, husband or wife, they'll feel that.
Right. And the thing about it, just like you mentioned, just sitting down having the conversations. So if the bills, you mentioned the kids, then if those things are causing the disconnect, so no, we just have to sit down and talk. Period. You know, and with us, let's say we may live together, you know, us, but yet one of us may feel like we're alone. You know, and feel neglected in that. So that's the part about it. Even the affection.
Yeah.
The affection, sometimes it may feel awkward than before. You know, well, it just doesn't feel right. And, you know, a lot of times people move on feelings, period. But so this is the thing. It's not that love died. You know, it's that our connection either paused, slowed down, or it stopped altogether. And it's not getting fed.
And then there's the interruptions, the outside interferences that,
Okay.
you know, that causes the disconnection.
Sure, it can't cause. I know you say cause.
It
can cause. If we allow these things, I would say, I think, and I say that only because we have control of what we allow in. And that's why I say that.
So let's talk about what a quick fix that could happen that helps a couple get out of that disconnected feeling. I think for me, spending time,
Sure.
you know, just even expressing how you feel, if it whatever time it takes,
Right.
put the phone down.
Yeah. So setting aside time to sit down and to have a discussion, just like we said earlier. Sure. Right. What is the issue?
Yeah.
Be honest, being open about that, and just again, heart to heart talk. And that's one of the things that we don't give time to, nowadays. Yes. Okay.
What
And
else?
even asking questions during that time, like, how are you doing really? I know you're not feeling well now. I
Right
know
now,
that. So I know,
tonight,
girl,
y'all.
I know you hang in there with a brother tonight and with our peeps, definitely, because I know you've been feeling
Dealing with
pretty
the
tough.
flu, guys. It's what,
Yes.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Pray for my girl. Pray for. Yes.
yeah. But spending that quality time, identifying what the issues are.
Right.
It winds up identifying, why am I not loving you? I mean, I love you as a person, but why am I feeling like I'm not in love with you?
Yes, right. Yeah. That's very important. Because as we talk, you have to ask, have you ever loved me? If that were the case, have you ever loved me? And I'm like, yes, I did. But now we try to isolate what happened. What did I do anything to cause that? Is it something you saw or you saw me do, even whether intentionally or unintentional?
Yes.
And then basically having a repentant heart or a humble heart to get it right. That's the thing, really. So asking the question, how are you doing really? And the second question would be, what do you need from me exactly? What is it you need? And that's the thing, Charles, you remember when you used to be more caring about me, especially when I didn't feel well, And we've been through those conversations. I tried to do better this time, did I? And I know I've been splitting time, though, between you and then also caretaker with parents and going through things. It's been challenging. And I tried to do better in that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He has.
I'm listening to this. No, just kidding. Okay, so that's the thing, because again, we've got to spend the time and we've got to be present.
Yeah.
So I want to leave you with a scripture here on this one. Song of Solomon, 2nd chapter, 15 verse. It says that to catch the little foxes. Now, when we think about that, it just lets us know that the small neglect can become a big issue or cause a big distance. So catch it early and be willing to talk.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and don't take pride in it.
No.
Don't be prideful if you're disconnected and you feel that something's missing.
Yes.
That's the best time to talk about it. Don't let it fester.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that second bucket list we talk about is hurt.
Okay. The hurt bucket. Okay, so meaning you're feeling like your feelings don't come back. Really, they won't come back until the wounds get treated. Okay. So if you're not feeling a thing right now, whatever we need to address, let's do that, because the feeling won't come back until it gets addressed. Okay.
So what does that usually include? The type of hurt.
So the type of hurt for this bucket, it could be cheating. Whether that's physically or we hear more now emotionally cheating as well. Either way. So that could be one of the causes for the hurt. Also, lies, just being dishonest. That can cause the hurt. Discovering hidden DMs, social media, the phones now. A lot of people have been caught red-handed because of that phone. And so these are things that can cause hurt. And
Yeah. So Another one is money stresses,
Sure.
and to the point of when you talk about hiding things.
We talked about that. Yeah, a
Yeah,
few weeks. Yeah, remember
if
the little
either
stashes
little
that. Yeah,
stashes or
right.
if somebody's got a really serious spending habit, whether it's gambling or whether it's shopping or whatever
Substance. Yeah, it could be
substance,
anything,
whatever
or
it is,
even strippers. Going to look.
whatever it
Okay,
is.
whatever it is. Yeah, definitely. It could be an issue. So a hurt on any level there be an issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So and it goes deep.
disrespecting, each other, or one person disrespecting the other, name calling, that happens and can happen. Even secrecy, and you're discovering that one may be into porn or other, definitely other type, they say derogatory or issues that you don't know about could be the issue. So the repair does not equal the vibe that's happening. So repair is being truthful, is being accountable, and being consistent, and definitely having a consistent change as we go. That is the repair. So with this bucket, we want to leave you with a scripture. The book of Ephesians is that 4:31-32. It says, drop bitterness, choose kindness, forgive like you've been forgiven. And we know in the prayer, and we'll say the prayer that Jesus Messiah taught, as some say, the Our Father prayer. We know that we ask God to forgive us as we forgive others. And that's the thing is, so forgive like you've been forgiven.
Right. And the thing about it, though, when we're tackling these type of challenges, it does depend on whether or not the individuals are willing.
Sure. You got to be willing.
If they're willing.
Yes.
Because if one is done,
Yes.
if one is done
yeah.
or unwilling, you got to understand what the deeper cause is with that. And if it is just
repairable, you think?
then we have to look at how you maneuver with that.
The thing about it, when you hear terms like unrepairable or irreconcilable differences, that's simply because one person decides that they've had enough and they don't want to do the work, whatever reason it is. I'm not saying that hurt doesn't happen. Some hurts people don't want to come back from. They figure that is it. And see, that's the thing when we say our vow, we say to death do us part. We say for sickness and health and all. So when God created marriage, for instance, it was for a lifetime. And we have gone and we have actually turned that into as long as I want it, until I'm done. Not until I'm to death, it's until I'm done. So, and even a lot of the pastors, like I say, and leaders out there are setting very poor examples because they are disregarding God's plan for marriage. And they're sort of flaunting it to a degree. And then other people watching figure like, oh, if it's the man of the cloth, if it's okay for him, then it's okay for me. Well, we ought to take marriage so serious and take it as a commitment, a lifelong commitment.
Yes, yes. So the last bucket that we talk about is change.
The seasonal change. So this bucket, again, as we say, is commonly to do because we go through the changes of life, period. And we've talked about some of those things, even changes in the marriage, being married 40 years, being together 47. We've gone through some changes, wouldn't you say?
I would.
And we're going through changes. Yes. So again, so when it comes, sometimes love don't leave. Life just gets busy around it, and the love has to change or evolve with life. So some of the common shifts, as we talk, could be a new baby. Could be now our kids are turning the teens. Teens require a lot more, attention, and sometimes it increases the stress. Whether going off to college, it could be things, finding jobs, So these are some of the things. Even with career changes that we may have, may look at careers, maybe promotion, which may lead you to different cities, different states, or it may change life altogether. These are some of the things here.
Yeah.
What would you say?
So, I mean, I just actually would stick with a key mindset when you're dealing with something like that,
Okay.
and that was you don't quit a season.
Okay. Right.
You don't quit a season. You transition through it. So, understanding that relationships do go through changes, you have to accommodate yourself with that.
Right. And as we say, some of the changes, just like we talked to, you mentioned about hormonal, age may bring on changes, menopause, some may go through, men at times may go through things like ED, have challenges there, or prostate issues, illnesses. And then also, we mentioned caregiving as well. So we could. And so as the scripture says, Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, there's a reason for everything, and we have to know that the new season requires a new rhythm, and we've got to be willing to adapt to the season.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So the different stages and the different stresses that occurs through these relationships is something that we have to bear in mind.
Sure.
And set a goal. For something like that. Can you talk a little bit on that?
Well, you say set a goal. One of our goals is to be through all these stages and all these changes there. Our goal, the main goal ought to be to stay connected and to do that with intention and with purpose. That's the thing. So let's talk about love and a person being newly married. Keep the dating going. Okay? You got to build trust. And you got to make these things habits very early in the marriage. Because if you go a while and not do anything, sometimes it's more difficult to start something that you hadn't than to start early and to keep it going. And that's
consistent.
the thing. Yes. And talk about your expectations. Talk about those things. So we talked about having a conversation and being truthful and honest. Yeah, definitely.
Then there's you got the new married, then you've got the mid-marriage grind. That's when what start happening?
Well, you might tend to, if you're not careful, if you're mid-marriage, you might tend to take advantage of each other by being in this thing a while, and you may start it to call names. You may start to, some people may get physical. So these things you have to avoid, and you have to rebuild the friendship with each other. That's important.
But in the mid-marriage, when it's mainly when the kids start coming, and then the duties and responsibilities seem to be heavier, maybe on one or the other, or not feeling like there's an equal partnership.
We talked about that. Remember, I think when we mentioned some things about love languages and love expressions there, and we did mention a person feeling the load or feeling like they're carrying the most of the load and not getting the balance or the help in the relationship. That is very important. Okay, so now we'll talk about the stage of kids and chaos years. Of course, when you're raising kids, you have to schedule
You do.
the romance or the relationship. When are we going to get together? We talked about this too recently when you say, oh, I don't want to put it on the calendar. But I think at times, if you're going through those stages, you may have to do that.
Yeah.
Really, in order to get time in with each other, spend time, you may have to schedule that time. Whether it's date nights and whenever you can do it, or date lunches or whatever, you can do it. You have to schedule that.
Right. Yeah. And protect that time.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I understand scheduling time when you have the younger kids,
Yes, right.
involved and the duties and responsibilities and sharing the loads and different things and the hustle and bustle of between just life,
Yes.
so that it becomes kind of during those years like the chaos years,
Yes, right.
so then one may feel ignored more so than the other, one feel overloaded than the other,
Sure.
and both I'm sure have equal chaos in their life.
Right. And you mentioned something too about one may feel overloaded. And the thing about it, as much as you can, share the load. Help each other out. What can I help at today? Where do you need me? What do you need from me today? Remember that question came up a lot. And so we've got to learn to vibe. We've got to learn to kind of roll with those changes in life. And then even the last area, as we experienced a few years ago, and that's becoming empty nest.
Yes.
Having an empty nest in the later years. And I guess we would say later years. I guess for us, that was we probably, and when our kids left, we were I would say probably in the 40s maybe. I would say somewhere around there. So we have to really relearn each other. We had time.
I think we were able to appreciate that space and time we
Sure.
had with each other, and appreciate the teamwork that we had with each other. I think, and of course that's not for everybody.
Yeah, right, definitely.
So there could become situations when the empty nesters come and you don't know each other at all because you've been so engulfed in raising the children and the hustle and bustle of your careers, and as excuse me, as they tend to separate from the house.
Yes.
Then now you're staring at somebody that you don't even remember seeing in the same light anymore.
Yeah, who's this woman here? Who's this man? and I mean, I think we enjoyed our time, and it was a different, and we're like, oh, it's quiet. So, went through that. We're talking about a new rhythm. So with the new rhythm, we ought to have a new dance here with the new rhythm. And we ought to start doing things that are more fun and exciting. And that's the thing. When the changes come, we ought to embrace and be adaptable with the changes. And then also, it may concern caregiving. And I'm telling you, that requires teamwork.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode in itself.
And we're in it. We're in it.
So knowing that chaos can turn into even the early years sometimes.
Yes.
It just depends. So
right.
Just being ready for that. So what has to happen, you have to come back. You have something like the comeback plan.
Sure. And the thing about it, too, with that, you have to, as she says, and we're going to give you 7 moves to make a comeback plan. Number 1, with these moves, we're going to say start small, stay consistent, because God honors the work. If we put in the work, God will honor that. And we got to be real when we put it in. And don't play games, but we got to mean it. We got to be intentional, and we got to do it on purpose. So number 1.
Yeah.
We gotta have clarity. We gotta have those clarity conversations, okay? Let me be clear on what you're feeling or what we're dealing with. So that means no threats. Just the truth. Speak truth from the heart.
Yeah. So number 2, I would say identify the buckets that we just talked about.
Sure. Okay.
You know, whether it's disconnect,
Okay.
and are you in the hurting
Okay.
bucket or seasonal?
Sure.
You know, identify what buckets you're in so you can
Yes.
be able to clearly go to, as you're going to number one, which is communicate and clarifying the conversations,
Sure.
talk about the actual real issues.
Yes. Right. What's in the buckets? You know. Number 3, we have to clean up any resentment. So ask the question. What am I still mad about? You ask the question. What are you still mad about? And put it on the table. And let's talk, because I know at times, even having conversations, sometimes the conversations get deeper. We get deeper in the mess with the conversation. We got to be honest with the conversation. And sometimes we may have to have rules in going with conversation, because it may be, okay, let's keep it on this tone, this level. We'll talk for X amount of minutes. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you remember the one where we had an item that will hold while the other talks. So as long as they have the item and we have a time limit, so just that you agree on that, whatever that is, then you hear each other out. You don't speak while the other one's speaking. Okay? That's a tough one. And I'm going to be honest, it is. Because we like to give a chance. Let me talk. I want to respond. That's how we are. So, you know, and if you're not, glory be to God, I want to be like you. Okay. So.
And then number 4 is rebuild. Rebuild the friendship that you had when you all were gauging at each other, when you all both was interested in each other.
Sure.
You know, rebuild that friendship with each other. You know, have fun.
Yes.
You know, and respect and appreciate. Look back at that person.
Sure.
And just resonate in your mind about why did I fall in love the first time?
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And if your expectations are after 20, 30, 40 years thinking that that person's going to be that same person 20 years ago, then you're delusional.
Well,
you know.
it's rare. I mean, I'm not saying it can happen, but it's not likely, is it?
No.
Some changes somewhere.
Yeah. So reestablish that friendship.
Sure. Yes. Right. And number 5, we're going to choose each other on a daily basis. Okay. Small little things to cause us to connect even more. What can we do? Cause us to connect or to reconnect. We've got to do it on a daily basis.
Yeah. Number 6, restart, rekindle your intimacy.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily mean sexual.
Ooh.
You know, it could end that way, but saying, you know, that this just for example, the intimacy can start with my husband caring for me right now, knowing that I'm not feeling my best.
Yes. Right.
You know, and that's the emotional intimacy that I love.
And I appreciate you
that,
present. You know, really not feeling.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
You know, just having
Sure.
that empathy, that sympathy, that love, that drive that you have for your loved one. You know, and then I mean, like I say, emotionally first.
Sure. Right.
You know, the heart to heart kind of thing. And then, you know, as that is shown more realistically, like really seeing that that's you really deeply care for me and I deeply care for you, you know, the physical will come.
Sure. So in other words, we don't make the physical the main attraction and the main thing. Yes. And, you know, definitely. I agree there. Number 7. To get support early.
What kind of support?
And we'll go into that. So the support we're talking about is this. One thing we advocate for is spiritual guidance, biblical guidance. So whether that's through a pastor, and we know I'm not going to just say pastor that, but you've got to know, or you at least study what the Word of God and what God desires for you in your life. And get someone that has a spiritual background and tone and a life to match it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to counseling. Because you don't want anybody just counseling. The Bible teaches that in the multitudes of counseling, there's safety.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're talking godly counseling. Even a couple that you can have as mentors. And that's one thing that we attempt to do on a weekly basis. On Thursday's Dose is to be a mentoring couple for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have given anything positive to your life, holla at us, please. I mean, really. No, we want to connect. We're real people. I'm going to say, definitely. So, with that, Colossians is a scripture we want to share. 3:12 through 14. It says to put on love.
Mm-hmm.
So all your dressing, you're putting on cologne, you're putting on these nice clothes. Why would you put on love too?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something we're going to need to wear in this life. So the rules, don't do any drive-by loves, that's what we're doing. No, take time. And if you want to get those feelings back and you want to get that emotional state back and that love that you feel may not be there, then you have to put in the actions.
Mm-hmm.
The actions have got to be there. So, I love you, but let's get rid of the buts, bring in the actions. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when we elaborate a little bit on the moves from clarity, buckets, and resentments. Let's identify how these are labeled.
Okay. So here are the moves that we want to make here. So again, we're not debating anybody's feelings. So we know that feelings are legitimate. Somebody say, I feel a certain way. I tell well, you shouldn't feel that way. No, feelings are legitimate. And I think we have to be more sensitive to that. Even myself, definitely. So we're building a plan here. So the moves that we want to make, you say you want to make 1, 2, 3 moves. One is on clarity. We want to deal with the buckets and the resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So the clarity conversation is this. Are we committed to building or rebuilding? Are we? That's the first question. Both have got to have a shared vision and to be in agreement. Because if one say, I'm not committed to rebuild or to build, then one person can't move forward in a relationship.
Right.
Okay? No threats, as we say. No sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's one I'm good for. But no sarcasm when it comes to that. Being clear. Deal with one issue at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring up things that happened last week, last year, 10 years ago. Keep it in real time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we got before us. Okay?
Yeah. And we're good for doing that.
Yes.
We have built up whatever challenges you may have dealt with, and then you'll pull something out from a week or two ago that we thought may have been hashed.
Sure. Like a magician. When you pull a rabbit out of a hat and just say, look what I got here. Yes. It's not a welcome sight.
Right. Right. So that's why it's important to name what bucket you're dealing with.
Okay.
Are you in a disconnected mode? Things are in shambles and you just are not connecting together? Or are you having some unhealed hurt, that needs to be discussed?
Sure.
Are there seasonal changes that you both are going through
Sure.
that's
Yes.
impacting the family? We deal with the seasonal changes in our lives and caring for our loved ones. It affects both of us.
It affects, yes.
It affects both of us.
Right.
So
And not just us. It even go between, because even people that love us, that are
Mm-hmm.
concerned about us,
Mm-hmm.
they get concerned when we go through when it comes to
Right.
caregiving and all.
Yeah, and
Yes.
we could not knowingly snap and be irritated with each other
Sure. We've been
because
there.
of the
Yeah.
stresses that we're dealing
Absolutely.
with. So
Absolutely.
identifying those buckets is imperative.
Yes. And even choosing one or picking one as the primary. What are we going to deal with first when it comes down to that? You know, what's the main thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is disconnecting? The disconnection, is that the main thing? The hurt,
Mm-hmm.
is that the main thing? Or is the seasonal change the main thing?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes down to the resentment part, we have to be clear
Mm-hmm.
about the resentment.
Yes.
We need to write the things that we're still upset about. List those things. What am I mad about? Or what am I upset about? What am I not happy about? And then, when it comes down to it, if we've caused any issues or we've caused any anything that we've caused there and we can be blamed for to upset our relationship, one thing is to be humble and to take ownership, period.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up. I know that's hard for us to do as a people, but I messed up. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to come into agreement. We talk about shared vision. We talk about agreeing. And then let's agree on how do we repair what we got here.
Yes.
This is the problem. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how do we fix it?
Yes.
Right.
So as we own up to that,
Yes.
we definitely will be helpful to speak more on that.
Okay. Also, moves now. We're gonna from 4 to 7. We're gonna talk about friendship, the choice, and our intimacy and support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, rebuilding your friendship,
Yes.
rebuilding. We don't have to elaborate too much because you should understand that when you're rebuilding things, you laugh again, you share time with each other again, you learn each other over again.
Sure. Right.
You may learn the older version of your spouse, and respect that person who you've made that vow
Absolutely.
to.
Yes. And then as far as the choices are concerned, we have to make a choice on a daily basis. So small things, the smaller things, whether it's touch, whether it's texting, whether just checking in. How are you feeling today? Are you well? Anything you need from me? And that's check in. Don't assume everything is good.
Right.
Okay? Just don't assume that. Ask the questions. And also, when it comes down to relationships in a life, the choices that we make on a daily or speak life. Expel the negative. Don't speak shade or speak in circles. Be direct. And again, speak positive.
Yeah. Yeah. And, as Charles had mentioned before, you got the support portion. And I mentioned that as well, having that support, understanding that we need help. We both need help sometimes.
Sure.
And when you initiate that help and show that support, the person has a deep respect of knowing that he really cares. Because I think he really cares. That one right there, that man right there.
I love you. Go ahead.
As I'm kind of winding
Yeah.
on this as far as getting over the flu and knowing that he's been there for me, and it's not always about the physical, it's the emotional support that actually stands out first.
And I have hope that I would have shown more, because I know we've had the discussions over the years, and then having to split that time too. I've been, guys, like, and one thing I'll say too while I'm on that, I want to thank God that, my father, Robert Roseberg, had surgery on last week. And then I split some of my time, there at the hospital with him a couple of days, and I wasn't, here with you. But was concerned, I know I had to try to do what I could to be both places to that degree, and I couldn't be, but wanted to have my presence known with you as well, and wanted you to be, good when I left, for him. And I thank God for the prayers and, for Dad even coming through with his surgery well. And like I say again, that when you caretake or, it is a strain. It's a lot. And sometimes you really have to decompress after all of that.
Yeah.
Because it can be a mental drain at times if you don't.
And I mean, it was really kind of caught us off guard because I intended to be there,
Yes.
at the hospital. So with him, but I got hit with with the flu, and he was trying to, and then we were wanting to make sure that he's not around me, but so much because he's going to be at the hospital. And,
Sure.
it was a lot happening, and the stress on what I saw on you was, beyond what I want you to even deal with. In the meantime, I'm feeling almost the worst that I could have been feeling.
Sure.
So it was a lot of changes going around. I thank God too for my mom kind of trying to be as much as she can, and then everybody kind of have to stay away from me. It's so we saying all that as using that as an example of that was the most intimate part for us, and it didn't have anything to do with sex or the physical, because it was more emotionally, connection that we had. So working on those moves of friendship and choice, intimacy and support, know what you need to work on with each other.
Right. And we did say too, as far as the support, getting help early, and I guess I asked the question, we heard someone say that had gone through divorce is that they got help too late. And I asked you a question. Do you think it's such a thing as getting help too late?
Well, my opinion on that is, what is too late? Well, is it too late because the person just gave up and they're done?
And that's
then
what
that's when it's too late.
And then that's what I say. If somebody said, "That's it, I'm done, no more, I'm not doing anything," then I would say that would be too late. But and I don't know what your circumstance is if you're going through, but one person can't do it, as we said before.
Right.
And you got to be willing to move together, as far as to agree that this is what we're doing. And the Bible says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" Amos 3:3. No, they can't. They have to agree.
Yeah.
So, the real talk. What are some of the red flags that we can notice in relationships? We know that we need to have immediate boundaries. And if we need outside help, we need to get it. So what are the red flags for the boundaries here and the times when we need to get help?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're being abused physically, sexually, or emotionally, think about it, is to put your safety first. Now, I know, and I say this because if you have listened to some people and even some churches, they may tell women in particular not to leave, your husband, this, and that. But there are times that sometimes you have to take an exit if your life is being threatened or in danger, or your children as well. And it's not just women nowadays, because some women out there are tying some things on some brothers, okay? And because of our society, they're either ashamed to go to law enforcement to even tell them or report it. Because why? They're going to be ridiculed and laughed at. It's going to be the butt of the joke. That's it if you do that. So the same thing. Some men sometimes need to get away for their safety as well. What else?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if there's, infidelity and there's no clear view of wanting to stop Just constantly disrespectful and with no accountability.
Yes.
Those are red flags.
Because, again, we know that anytime cheating or infidelity is in a relationship, we know that can also open doors for, we can say, even as far as death is concerned, because of diseases and all things that exist out there that can take you out. And these are things that you don't play with when it comes down to it. If there's zero accountability, a person say, "Yeah, I'm messing around." Either one, you have to protect yourself. When it comes to that. And so, what about we talked about contempt before, and if you're constantly being mocked, name called, whatever it is, bees, whatever, it may be, or you're just running into disgusting situations there, you may have to just take the red flag, just look at it, and you may have to act accordingly behind that, and hopefully getting the help that you need. Huh?
Yeah, and lastly, I think any type of addiction,
Sure.
that they just don't want to break that cycle. So which is killing and destroying, the relationship. And
Sure.
the person does not want to take the accountability and just destroying the trust. So that's a red flag. And you don't need to play around with that.
No, and also if you have someone that's refusing to discuss the conversation, I don't want to talk about it. That's it. Now we talked about at times that there may be times that you may have to table a situation or conversation until later and pick it up and try to go at it with a level head. But if somebody refuses to even engage in the conversation and talk about the issue at hand or the pink elephant in the room, then again, that's a red flag. That's a problem.
Right.
So we like to talk about and include scriptures, and what we will do.
Let's include them in the description, right?
Okay. So we just want to go through, not preaching. We don't want you preaching at your spouse, but we want you to lead yourself in a godly manner and lead in love.
Yeah. So, make sure you read into the descriptions because we've got some scriptures that'll keep you grounded.
Sure.
And you can go through these together. So there's several scriptures that, from being patient and kind to putting on compassion that we want to include for your reference.
And again, we really appreciate you tuning in to Thursday's Dose. And we want to say, if this hit home, don't just feel it. We want you to do one thing today. We want you to comment that I'm in. Let's rebuild. And then we want you to schedule a 30-minute conversation with each other. No phones. Talk about the issues.
Yeah. So this has been, the Lord helped me through this.
Yes.
And it was important enough for me to be able to include my point of view in this discussion.
Sure.
And with my husband, because we know the importance of the saying when people are saying, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you."
Yes.
So we need to talk. We wanted to talk through this. So to that special guest that brought that to us, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Vaughn.
Thank you. And, use some of these tactics and some of these strategies and share them with some of your friends. We'll be more than happy to come and come to one of your services or something that we can talk about that. So we can all build a community
Sure.
of strong relationships and strong marriages.
Definitely.
And so this isn't just, when you're talking about marriages, have these conversations before you're getting married too.
Yes, definitely.
So we've got a great one coming up for next Thursday's Dose that I want you to tune into. It's called Roommates with Rings, Lovers Again.
So share this episode with a couple that needs to reset
And rebuild.
Okay. Yes. Definitely. So, until next time,
Next time,
just keeping it real with Charles and
Melendia.
yes, yes, yes. I tell you. Thank you, girl. All right. Be blessed. We'll talk to you. Peace out.
Bye.
Yeah,
Love ain't perfect.
but truth keeps it real. Charles and Melendia,
Just keeping it
just keeping it real.
in love.